Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise is a track that pretty much everyone knows, right? It was absolutely massive in the 90s. But if you listen closely, I mean really listen, you realize that behind that iconic beat, there's an incredibly dark and complicated story. It's about a man who's completely at war with himself and the world around him. So today, we're going to break that story down.
I mean, wow, right from the very first line. This isn't just about being in a tough spot. He's in the valley of the shadow of death. He looks at his own life and sees absolutely nothing, a total void. It's such a heavy, brutal way to open a song, and it sets the stage for everything that's about to come.
So what does that reality actually look like for him? Well, the first part of the song paints this really grim picture of a life that's just steeped in violence and loneliness, where everything is twisted. And this line just hits so hard, it shows you just how deep his isolation goes. The violence has become so normal to him that it's pushed away the one person who should always be there, his own mother. He's not just an outcast from society, he's lost his own family too. Just think about that for a second. For our narrator, violence isn't just something he does, it's the filter for his entire life, the very lens he sees the world through. His past, his future, who he is, it's all clouded by pistol smoke. It's an incredible metaphor for being completely and utterly trapped.
But here's what makes this story so tragic. He isn't just some mindless criminal. No, he's deeply, painfully self-aware. And that's where you find the real conflict. He's a man whose mind is constantly at war with itself.
And you can see that war playing out right here. On one hand, you've got the hardened gangster, the set-tripping banger, who lives knowing death could come at any second. But on the other hand, he's on his knees, praying at night, totally aware of the terrible influence he's having on the kids who look up to him. He's two different people at once, and it's tearing him apart.
He calls himself an educated fool, and this is the absolute core of the song. He's educated because he's smart enough to know what's happening. He sees the path he's on, and he feels bad about it. But he's a fool because he feels totally powerless to change it, stuck in this loop of bad choices.
And all that self-awareness, it doesn't lead to change. It leads to this deep-seated belief that it's already too late for him. He doesn't just feel stuck in the moment. He genuinely believes his future is a closed book.
And get this, he's 23. All of this hopelessness, this lifetime of regret, is coming from a guy who's just 23 years old. I mean, at 23, most people are just figuring out their lives, right? He's wondering if he's even going to survive another year. And that's not him being dramatic. For him, that is the cold, hard reality. There's zero hope here, just the expectation that his life will end soon.
The song also takes a shot at the world outside his neighborhood. You know, that polished version of the good life you see on TV? For him, it's not some dream to aspire to. It's a fantasy, a cruel reminder of everything he can never, ever have.
Then, the song kind of zooms out. It stops being just about his personal struggle and starts describing the environment that creates people like him. It's this relentless, non-stop system that traps everybody inside. And this lays out that vicious cycle perfectly. It's this frantic hustle. It's all about the power and the money and the power. And the way the lyrics repeat, minute after minute, hour after hour, it makes you feel like you're on a treadmill you can never get off of. It's a machine, and it just grinds people down.
This is a flat-out cry for help. He knows he needs to change, to learn a different way, but he feels completely alone. The people who are supposed to be helping him just don't get his world, so how can they possibly reach him? It's like, how can you be saved by someone who can't even see where you're drowning?
And this is where the song makes its final genius move. It stops being one man's confession and turns into an accusation. It becomes a question aimed directly at every single one of us listening.
He asks us, straight up. He's asking why society, why we, choose to be blind to the reality he's just spent the whole song describing. Why do we ignore these cycles of violence and hopelessness that are happening right under our noses?
And that's the final devastating punch. The song's ultimate message is that this problem isn't contained in some faraway paradise. It's a wound we inflict on ourselves. By allowing these conditions to exist, we're not just hurting them, we're hurting you and me. It was a powerful question back in 1995, and you know what? It might be even more urgent today.